Hey guys, Brickley59 here, and welcome back to yet another episode of Building Hogwarts in Lego. Now, overall, last segment was pretty good. We got some work on the East Wing done, as well as the Gryffindor Tower. And in this segment, I said how we were going to be kind of finishing those two as well. But sadly, the parts did not arrive for that. So it was a bit of a shame. I'd ordered the parts like Monday or Tuesday. They weren't shipped out till like Friday or so. So sadly, that means they're not going to be here during this Thanksgiving week. But I did order other parts for another part of Hogwarts, and those parts have arrived, so we can take a look at that. And I think you're going to love this segment, as we're going to get some good progress done, and again, I'll explain that in just a sec. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Couple of packages here. Let's start with a small one. So these are all for the same portion of Hogwarts. First package here from Bricklink. Again, this was about $200+ worth of parts between this and the other package. But here we go. 300 1x2x3 inverted slopes. So I think you guys already know what's going to be happening in this segment with those. We got this Pick-a-Brick cup I got on Black Friday. Again, no deals, but I just got it. Lots of 2x2 bricks in gray. Again, I think you're kind of understanding as to what this segment's going to be all about. And the biggest package, $150 worth of these. That's right, it's pretty heavy. I'll let you move the others out of the way so you can get a better look at it. But here we go. Couple of these, 200 of these for the roof of Gryffindor Tower's prototype. But here's the big thing, 1,000 1x2x3 slopes, the 45-degree slopes. So over 1,000 of these. Again, they were really expensive. It was like 14 cents each. But that was the cheapest in the US. If I had tried doing it international, shipping would have probably got the price up to that as well. So we're going to be working on the mountain. So in this segment, by the end of it, my goal is to get the Great Hall on rockwork. So build up the mountain. So basically have the Great Hall on top of a mountain. And then also in the mountain start work. Because below the Great Hall is where I'm going to be putting the Chamber of Secrets. So maybe even start some work on that. So this will be a really, really fun segment. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I thought I'd give you a quick little update here. So originally what I was going to do was have the Hogwarts Castle, the Great Hall, be on the mountain, and the mountain would actually be on base plates. But if you look at the photo of Hogwarts, compared to the rest of the castle, the Great Hall is kind of at a bit of an angle, if you see the photos of it. So, what that means is that I can't use base plates, because then it'll be horizontal or vertical, but I need the actual Great Hall to be at a bit of an angle. So I've decided to go ahead and actually use plates, so I just ended up making this base here pretty sturdy. So this is the size of the Great Hall. As you can see here, this is 20 studs by 50. So that's kind of actually a little over 50, but that's the size of the Great Hall. So basically I'll be building up the mountain, and then inside here will be where the Chamber of Secrets is going to be. So again, I wanted to make it in gray such that I could not have to tile or add extra plates afterwards. So just thought I'd give you a bit of an update on that, but now I'm going to start working on the mountain and get back to you in a bit. Alright, so I ended up working a bit, and this is what I've come up with. And overall, I'm liking how it's turning out. Definitely rock work is quite a bit time consuming. Working already for about 40 minutes, and it's not that much done. But I think it's going to look great when it is all finished. So overall, I think it looks pretty good. So you can see we got Dumbledore just for scale. But again, this is kind of give you a really nice look at it. So I tried to randomize it as much as possible. Sadly, I don't have as much 1x2, kind of just regular 1x bricks to kind of make it a bit like more random, like to add between the slopes. I sadly do not have too many of those, so I'm gonna have to make do with what I have. Again, I have those 2x2, so I'm gonna see if I can somehow use those. But yeah, other than that, looks pretty good. And then also slopes. I don't have as many just regular slopes, like 1x2 slopes and 1x3 slopes, and that actually also looks really good in the rockwork. So I'll be a little short, especially for this section, but I still think it's looking pretty good. I think I'm actually pretty happy with how it's turned out. So even though there won't be as many of those in this portion of the rockwork, I think it'll be fine because I want to make all the rockwork, of course, look different. So it's kind of random. So maybe the next set of rockwork, the one that I do for the east wing, maybe that will have more of the 1x2 slopes compared to this section. So again, overall, I just thought I'd give you a quick update here. And I'll probably now go ahead and get back to you once it is all completed. So there's a look at that. Alright, and welcome back. So I ended up doing some more work on the rockwork. We're now about a little over 3 to 4 layers in terms of the rockwork, and it's looking pretty good. It needs to get to about 8 layers, which is where this very last brick is. But overall, it's looking good. Alright, and welcome back. So I ended up working on the mountain, and now it is completely finished at 23 bricks tall. And this is really the perfect height for the build. So this took quite a bit of time, procrastinated a bit, but it is finally done, and I'm really loving how it's turning out. So let's just take Dumbledore out of the way, just show you a bit of the mountain here. You can kind of get a good look at it from one of these sides here. So kind of all the nice slopes and turns. I'm really loving how it turned out for sure. Yeah, I think it looks terrific. This is where the Great Hall is going to be placed on top of. So again, I think it looks terrific. If you're wondering what this section here is, I'm going to add another layer of brick. But of course, to cover up all the nice colorful parts, I'm going to build up another section of rockwork here, one more brick, and cover everything here with gray brick such that you can't see on the inside. Same thing for the other side. And if you're wondering what this is here, as we show you here, this is basically going to be, so all this section here will be covered up, and then this will all be open. So this is kind of like the entrance, the sideways entrance into the Chamber of Secrets. So that's what's going to be back here. You can see all the beautiful colors and things, but this is how it looks from the inside. Again, it'll all be covered. I'll be adding a layer of probably light bluish gray brick or something, but in here will be where the Chamber of Secrets is going to be. So decent bit of space, and then you can kind of get a better look at it. But there is a look at the mountain. So again, I think it looks terrific. But anyways, now let's go ahead and put the Great Hall on top and see how that looks. Alright, so I put the Great Hall on top of the mountain, and it looks terrific. So you can see it's so big it can't even fit in my entire backdrop, but I am loving the way it's turned out. So this looks great. So basically what I ended up doing, just putting the Great Hall on top. It is almost the perfect height. I think it's about it's the perfect height for the actual kind of main rockwork. I know I have like another layer there and one more over there, so there will be like a stud of space on each side. But again, I think it looks terrific. So I'm really loving how it's turned out. And when all of Hogwarts is on rockwork like this, oh man, it's gonna look great. So now, before we continue on, this will actually be where we're going to end off the segment. But what I want to talk about, as I see there's a problem here, but basically what I want to talk about is kind of how I'm going to make the rock work. So either I can do it like this, where each section of Hogwarts is going to have its own rock work, and because each section of Hogwarts is kind of angled, even the rockwork will be angled. So that's kind of what I mean right over here. So each section of Hogwarts kind of at a bit of an angle, and then each section has rockwork underneath. So I'll have kind of like 4 separate sections of rockwork, one for each building, and then each section of rockwork will be at this type of angle. Or I can just make one big mountain and then separately angle each of the buildings on top. So those are kind of my 2 thoughts. One, have a separate section of rockwork for each building, but then all the rockwork will also be at a bit of an angle. Or just make one large mountainous structure where the rockwork is kind of like all consistent, and on top build the separate sections of the Great Hall. So those are kind of what I'm thinking. Now again, I know in the actual set or actual model, there's actually a kind of a bridge that goes between. So probably there'll be 2 sections of rockwork split down the middle like this, and each section will be like, each section will have the buildings on top. So those are kind of my 2 thoughts. Do you want all the rockwork, separate pieces of rockwork for each structure, and then it all being at an angle, or one large piece of rockwork on top of which I build each section? So those are kind of the 2 ways. Let me know. 1 being the separate rockwork, 2 being just one large mountain on top of which I separately angle each of the buildings. So let me know down in the comments below. But again, we're going to go ahead and end the segment off here. I know it was a long wait, but I hope it was well worth it. I'm loving how this has turned out. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming very soon. Also, next episode of Building Hogwarts should be coming out in a week, week and a half. What I'll be working on in that segment, we're going to work on the interior of the East Wing and get more work done on the Gryffindor Tower, and maybe even start rock work for the Gryffindor Tower. So that's going to be really exciting. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming very soon. This is Brick Wizard 59, and I'll see you all next time.